Hey guys, how are you? It's Kimberly. Welcome back to the channel. I'm actually outside in nature. I'm hiking. I'll try to slow it down a little bit so I'm not panting in your ear, but I get so many messages when I'm out here, and sometimes they come so fast and so furiously that by the time I get back, I lose it. And on the way here, I felt like my guides were just saying, like, to record it. And instead of sitting down and doing, a card reading. So this is truly a channeled reading. It's probably going to come fast and there's going to be a lot of information. So you might want to draw it, you might want to write it, you might want to take notes. I did post a quick energy update this morning, which was kind of just like a collective energy. It was showing us that some of the energy fluxes that we're feeling are just coming from some past stuff that we're needing to heal, release, and heal. And it feels connected to our shadow, and it feels like blocking our, maybe like fully stepping into our creative, flourishing creatively, and also stepping into our full authenticity. It's kind of blocking us a little bit, and it seems like something from the recent past that is connected to shadow or core wounding that needs to be dealt with during this full moon Scorpio energy. It's coming up for you to clear it so you can set the space for the June new moon, which is going to be a sprinkle of magic. So right now, though, it's tough, and I'm not going to lie to you that I haven't been affected by it, because I have. Everybody has. There's tons of energy fluctuations. And that's what I want to talk to you about right now. And I'm going to break it down, divine feminine, divine masculine. So the way they're showing it to me is we're having cosmic shifts. We're having solar energy, solar storms, solar flares. We're being affected immensely by the moon phases, the moon cycles. And then we also have what is being shown to me as the divine feminine and the divine masculine in two separate spheres of energy. And I think it's confusing for some because both are working on balancing their own sphere right now. And you're picking up on the other one's imbalanced energies, and it can create a lot of energy dips and even spikes in your own energy field, in addition to everything that's happening cosmically or from a more universal or galactic sense. So I'll try to explain to you how I see the two spheres. So I'm going to start with the divine feminine. Okay, so for the divine feminine, the things that are throwing her off her axis that she needs to kind of break through and integrate. And by the way, these spheres are feel like they're temporary. They feel like they're energetically a temporary sphere, so that we can discern what is ours, so that we can work on the balance within ourselves. And if I'm being shown this for both entities, I'm pretty sure that this is also happening between our own inner masculine and feminine sides. So that might be another inner sort of battle or balance that you're trying to strike. So trying to overcome. So for the feminine, this sphere sort of represents all the things that she is needing to balance and integrate. And a lot of this for the feminine is about her desires. There's a lot of contradictory desires, I feel, from the divine feminine. And a lot of this is just the confusion of the different timelines, the feeling. You're going to be feeling more and more over the next 2 to 3 weeks that new timelines are going to start flashing in your mind You're going to almost feel like, well, one, pay attention to your signs, both visual and audio. They are going to be guiding you. Like, you're going to get them fast and furiously. And if you miss the train, either you'll get them faster and more furiously, or they'll send you a new sign to give you a new direction. Because timelines they're showing me a big jump come June. So they're wanting us to jump and like make leaps, especially the feminine. So what you might feel over the next 2 to 3 weeks is these incoming timelines that feel like they're happening. They're going to feel like they're real. They're going to feel like maybe they've already happened. You're going to feel the essence of a completely new life. And it's not representative of your current reality. It's not a past flashback. It's not a past life thing. And you guys might question that, and I'm going to clarify it right now. It's future. We're feeling future timelines, and we're being asked to jump. But the thing about the jumping is like we're jumping into the unknown so that the future timeline can come in and kind of meet us and crystallize. But there's a certain amount of leaping and jumping and following the signs and synchronicities that needs to happen. So I feel like overall, feminine, it's time to take a few risks come June, doing things out of the norm, following the impulses, anything that feels good to you, anything that just pops into your head. This is actually what's going to bring in the new life. So it feels very serendipitous. It feels very synchronistic. If you're not ready to do that, to really be making those leaps or following impulses, and really write down like the visions that are coming in for you and the feelings around it. Because I feel like you're definitely going to start receiving glimmers. It's going to have a totally different feeling than your current reality. Totally different. You might get specifics, like it's a certain place, or it's a certain feeling, or it's a certain person, or it's just the feeling of a new and better life or a step up. It's going to feel like a step up either way. I don't get the sense that like we're calling in things that are going to feel lower. It's going to feel like how can I explain it to you? Ever go into like I don't know, like when you're in like Disney World, or you go into any sort of like enchanted village, or like anything that like kind of transports you, and you're like, whoa, this is cool. I don't even feel like they kept showing me like Alice in Wonderland. That's been coming up like, oh my God, every day. And I'm like, what is up with that? It's been coming up in my mind, little sayings, little pictures, little things. And then I'm just like, okay, so that's kind of the feeling of it. It's almost like a dreamland. It's like a dream reality. And you're going to go, that's not my reality. But the truth is that it is. That's how much the landscape is going to be changing. So these are all positive changes, I feel. There's nothing like dark coming in to pull you down. It's like a massive up leveling. So welcome it. You might want to start writing down like the essence that you feel. I'm usually like a few weeks ahead of the collective. I keep having these feelings. I am starting to get a sense of what it's connected to and what I need to do to kind of take risks and follow impulses to crystallize it. I'm really listening and tuning into it. So do that. I feel like for myself and for all of you, we're not entirely ready yet, because like the reading this morning, we're still clearing some past stuff they're showing me the feminine taking off a layer of clothing. So she's not naked and fully in her authenticity yet, but there's like a sweatshirt or a sweater that she has taken off and is helping her get closer to her truth. And they're saying like the weather's changed, the seasons have changed. You don't need that sweater anymore. You don't need that sweatshirt anymore. And so it's time to take it off, and that's what it feels like a simple taking off of a layer. Once you take it off, you're going to go, well, why the hell was I walking around with that on the whole time anyhow? There's almost like a stubbornness and in letting that all just go and releasing it. So when you finally do, it's like all the resistance within you is going to release as well, and it's really going to open up the floodgates for manifestation. So that's really cool as well. So I think at a certain level that's showing us that there is a level of resistance that you are not recognizing, but you're feeling energetically. And that's playing on the energetic dips, the exhaustion, the I feel great one moment. Like, it's almost like I feel like when you guys feel great and high, you're syncing up with the universe. You know, you're feeling all the potential coming in. But then you dip, and it's like the resistance that's still caught in there. And it feels related to past. So it's time to take off that layer. It's time to shed that layer. The thing about it is they're not showing me you shedding skin or like a snake molding its skin. They're literally showing me like you peeling off a layer of clothing. So I feel like it's going to be easier than you think it is to let it go. You know, when you guys go out, like I'm out walking right now and I've got layers on. You just peel off a layer and because it gets hot or whatever. And it's super easy to do that. And then you're like, oh, I feel better. That's how it's going to feel. The reason why there's sort of like a stubborn resistance is because that's where like your big soul lesson is, and that's where like the major healing is for you. It's almost like a rite of passage to this next phase, and you really need to get the full scope of it to graduate. I do feel like many people are graduating, so don't be scared about new timelines and unknown, because when there's a graduation, it means you have a lot of support from your guides and your angels, from the Ascended Masters, from your team, you know, your guide team, your spirit team. And they're cheering you on, and they're going to bring in the life, like your dreams, fulfillment, the things that you desire. They're going to help anchor that in for you. But they're saying like your full cooperation is dependent upon you really understanding yourself and understanding like maybe what the past lesson was, or healing that core wound, or you're going through like an initiation. That's why they're saying rites of passage. So it's like an initiation process of, you know, to the next level of your life and to ascension. And I know some of you are going to be like, but I don't see that right now, or I don't feel that right now, or like, how is my life going to change that much? But those of you who are able to do the real healing work, shed the layers that have been stubborn or resistant for you, get the lessons, you're going to see. You'll see. It's going to be really different. Like your world's going to be really different in a year from now. For many people, like very, very different. Like we're changing so fast. my world is going to be totally different a year from now, in a positive way. So what else is the feminine working on? Well, that's the biggest part of our balance, is just, okay, so from the masculine. So what is the feminine feeling from the masculine that's throwing her off? So I feel like the masculine is in some deep emotional waters right now, and she keeps picking up on it. Like the feminine is feeling his dive deep, and it's almost like he's under there with like the scuba gear and learning how to navigate through it for maybe even the first time for some of the masculine, like going that deep or facing themselves or like really feeling the pain or feeling emotions. I feel it's very watery for the masculine. But it's like as the feminine catches the waves of that, she doesn't have a breathing mask on, she doesn't know what's going on. And it's like, can feel really like you're on a ride, emotional ride. So when you feel that and you feel like it's the energy of your twin, just tune into it for a moment. It might even help to like imagine that visual and kind of like see them with their breathing mask and their scuba gear and just let them go explore. And you can put like protective energy in their waters and then just let them do their exploration and just kind of separate your energy from it. You don't need to be taken down. You don't need to drown in that. And I feel like through some conscious, just like some discernment, some real discernment with our energy fluxes, you'll be able to have a little more control over it and stabilize your energy. It's good what the masculine's doing. So let's shift over there to the masculine. So what is the masculine? Why is he encapsulated in this bubble? So it's like a bubble. It's like a sphere. So the sphere is like, it's himself. He's completely surrounded by himself for once. So that feels like even if there are distractions in his life, he is going inward. He is going into those deep emotional waters. He's facing himself in a new way. They're showing me like these very strong mammals coming through the water, like the whales and the dolphins and the, like the big, ginormous mammals. And as they kind of pass by him, as he's kind of like on this quest, I feel it's like a quest. He's seeking something. He is seeking some answers about his life. As they brush by him, he's feeling that energy. I'm really getting a lot of whale energy with the masculine. It's not even the dolphins, it's the whales. And he's feeling their strength, their power, their fortitude is a word that's coming in. He wants to push on. You know how like these mammals just like they glide so fast through the water, like they're going like faster than cars sometimes, right? And they're just huge. And that's like he's seeing how fluid they navigate and how easy it can be to push forward. And he's learning some things about himself there. I don't feel like he's in the depths of despair. I just feel like he's feeling some new feelings, which may have been covered up for the masculine by, masking, distractions, could have been, like I said, masking, addictions, things like that, anything that would cover it up, distractions, new relationships, third parties, karmics, anything that would take his mind off of his life, his truth, his beloved. Those things have been like a temporary band-aid, and now that he's underwater, those band-aids they're peeling off. So they're not going to suffice. They're not going to hold up while he's navigating this. So that feels like those things that he's placed in the way as band-aids, those temporary things are going to peel off. And I feel that happening throughout the summer. I don't feel like he is mastering this all at once. I feel like it's going to be a process of, swimming around this sphere, swimming around this bubble for a while to find himself, to find his answers. And it's really, really, really positive for him. He's going to emerge in a much more positive place, in a much more truthful, heart-centered place. And so how is he being affected by the feminine's energy? So he feels her moods is what they're saying. He feels her need for answers, and he's saying, I'm in no rush to give them to you. That's probably why they were showing me, like, feminine, when you pick up on the masculine's energy, just kind of see him in his mask and scuba gear and, like, send some protective light, but just let him go explore, because he needs time to do it. This is definitely a process of, like, getting to know himself, his truth, and it's going to unfold. It's going to become clearer, and he's going to get that strength and fortitude. They're showing me after the eclipses, like around mid-August, we're going to see a wave of the masculines coming up, breaking that sphere, integrating, balancing, coming up for air, and being able to really, like, walk on the ground again, like walk on the earth. And they're showing me, like, he's cutting some, like, bushes and trees that are in his way. So he's going, this isn't going to work. This isn't my truth. So it looks like for some of the masculine, it's August. It's August where he's, like, making those actual physical changes, physical shifts. And that's pretty huge. So let's see. So how about for, like, twin flames coming together? And so let's see. I'm going to just kind of put myself in the sun for a moment and, like, try to get the energy stabilized, because I don't think I can receive all this just walking right now. Twin flames coming together. So they're talking about somewhere near, I don't know what the moon cycle, actually I do know the moon cycle's in September because I'm planning my retreat. So they just showed me September 18th. And that is just after, I believe, the, is that the full moon? It must be the full moon. I think it's the full moon that month. And there's something about September 18th as an important date for twin flames, for like a group of twin flames or a wave of twin flames, and communication, union, that type of energy. So that's close to the autumnal equinox. They're saying at that time, you're going to understand why you were grieving certain timelines now. So it feels like something full circle at that time, like an understanding or something that is going to be shown to you of, like, oh, so that's why that had to not play out and this did, sort of that, more clues, more clarity, more understanding is coming in at that time about the bigger picture with the twins. One thing I want to mention about this summer northern hemisphere, the next few months, is that in July, I did get the message earlier today that so let me just wrap that up. So overall, I feel like these spheres are going to be dissolved. There's a certain separation, individuation that's happening in the energy field so that we can balance and integrate as individuals before we're going to be able to come together, find the clarity, and make the changes in the physical. Feminine, a lot of the physical changes are going to start coming in real quick for you come June, July, and August. I feel like a lot of the unions are going to start happening in August and September, as I've been saying. I still feel the same way. I feel like you're going to have more clarity in September. And masculine's taking more of his action come August, so that would be why the unions and everything are happening August, September, and thereafter. But what I wanted to say is that over the summer in July, during our eclipse season, it is going to be a time of revelations. Wasn't sure if we were gonna, because everything felt so positive, like with this new landscape crystallizing and like all this positive work that both the feminine and masculine are doing. I really wasn't sure if we would have like massive revelations or information coming to the surface as much as we have in the past like few years, but they're saying it's going to be pretty major. But you'll be strong and equipped. You'll be able to handle it, whatever comes to light for you. For some people, it's going to be very eye-opening for you. It may alter your path or how you were thinking your path was going to go. It may dictate your decision about whether you want to come into union or not with your twin flame. For some of the collective, you're going to have a choice. You're really, really going to have a choice between the twin and like a divine partner. And for others of you, you're just going to get the clarity about whether this is truly like your twin or not, and whether you want to have that union with this person, or whether it would slow you down or hold you back. Or you're going to know that by, if not the height of July, then you'll know it by September. I really feel like those that have the purest connections, that have been on this journey for a while, are going to see a lot of really positive, forward-moving, love-based reunions, unions that are going to bring you together in a harmonization come September or shortly thereafter. So you kind of know which group you are or where you're at right now, or that might change over the summer a little bit depending on what comes to light and how your life starts to fall into place or crystallize. But overall, I would say it's positive. We're just working on balancing our energies as individuals right now. And so I don't know if that was just a bunch of babble or how you guys if that all resonated with you, but I told you it was going to come through fast, and I'm going to have to go back and re-listen to it to even hear all the messages myself. So but I'll post this in a while, and I hope that it's helpful. If you guys want to work with me for a reading, twin flame guidance session, soul coaching to do some of the root shadow work, or in any other capacity, you can go to spiritualmaterialgirl.com, click on sessions and workshops. Don't forget, you guys, to check out my retreat in September, happening just before the autumnal equinox, and it's going to be amazing, and I'm hoping to meet some of you in person and have the amazing opportunity to gather and connect, share, grow, learn together. And I love you. Thanks, you guys, for joining. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.